Okay, Jackie, so obviously born, raised in Saskatchewan, like a lot of us here. Grew up in Wynyard. Is Wynyard a good Ukrainian town? I feel like it is.
Very much so.
Yeah,
Ukrainian,
it's like
yes.
Yorkton. It's, yeah.
Yeah, Ukrainian, Polish,
Yeah.
German.
So, yeah, we kind of mesh together. Our
all the
cabbage rolls are a
same.
little different, but yeah.
It's all good.
You went to U of S, as I did. You know, we could have crossed paths. Tell us a little bit about your story. And as you're telling us your story, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, the place to stay, you know, and live and work and invest this business that we'll get into and you're going to share with us.
Great. Well, thank you, Shauna. You're welcome. Sister Shauna. And
oh no, don't call me Sister Shauna. No.
Oh, you're wearing white.
Oh, that's right. Oh boy, I never wear white too, but all right.
A little bit of white's good. It's just great to see everybody here this evening. A lot of wonderful, familiar faces and some new ones. So welcome, everybody. Yes, grew up in Wynyard, Saskatchewan. For those of you that may not know where that is, it's on Highway 16. It's about halfway between here and Yorkton, so definitely a Ukrainian town. Grew up in a very industrious family of 9. I've got 7 brothers and 1 sister.
It must be really cold in Wynyard.
Good Catholic family.
There you go. That too.
So really learned early in my life that a good work ethic was important, and continuous learning and developing and being the most that you can be was something that, well, because I had to fend for myself with coming from a large family and a humble family, that you really had to work hard and be determined. So later graduated from the U of S with business administration, and then later pursued my purchasing management certification, which is now with the Supply Chain Management Association of Canada, because I ventured into different business positions and really wanted to kind of enhance that part of business. During the course of my early career, I had different opportunities and different jobs. A lot of them were sales and marketing, and for some time I dabbled actually in multi-level marketing and home-based businesses, sidelines. For any of you that have been in multi-level marketing businesses before, you know that you may not necessarily get the greatest return. However, you do grow, and I really kind of stretched myself beyond in my early 20s in kind of extending myself on a personal level. And I was rather shy in my early years, so I think those opportunities and going to trade shows and seeing the passion of people exhibiting their products and really having a passion for what they do kind of inspired me. So combination of my education and experiences basically developed, and then I got the opportunity with the Overhead Door Company here in Saskatoon. That took me further into more leadership and management roles and wore different hats, had very diverse responsibilities, and I think that just really works for me. I'm not a slotted type worker. I'm very multifaceted, and I've managed everything from our human resources to finance to project management, contract administration, and negotiations, and ultimately sales and growing the business and business development. In 2013, the end of 2013, this business was purchased by a very large global European company. With that transition and the restructuring, you can say, within the global company and having a different sort of culture, I recognized a gap with the customer relationships that was really lacking, and kind of somewhat of the disconnect with the local market here and actually the understanding of our local market here and the importance of developing relationships and fostering relationships with your local market. And with that, I recognized that gap, and I saw that there was an opportunity that I could take the network and the relationships that I had fostered and perhaps pursue an opportunity for myself and my 3 brothers. So hence, that is a foundation really for Zemfor Service Solutions, and part of my, I guess, my confidence and credibility in being here today.
So I find that interesting that you did point out the fact that, you know, we are an interesting community, and how a lot of it goes with relationships. And, you know, just even in my business, when I go to Toronto or wherever, some of the bigger cities, and when they come, when I have other salespeople come to Saskatchewan, and how I introduce them to some of my clients, and you can just like walk in the door and it's like, hey, you know, you have to like put you in one of those machines that scan you before you, like at the airport, before you can walk into their office, and that's what Saskatchewan's about. And when I was saying like, why have you decided to stay in Saskatchewan? It's just, you know, a lot of it has to do with the culture and the people that we have.
Yeah, it really has. And I'm not, you know, referring or making a statement that all large global companies that come in and kind of take on our small, you know, family-based businesses or, you know, small enterprises are going to have that same culture. It seems that in the transition, that's kind of, it just naturally takes its course, where they lose that, or they don't understand the market and the people within the marketplace. And really, it is about relationships and word of mouth and being invested in the community and being involved. And that's really wasn't happening with that company. And I really believe in, you know, engaging in the community and being a part of it, and you know, contributing in any way that you can.
So you mentioned the company. So it was when did you go out on your own?
So in 2013, we left the company, and or 2015 actually, we left the company, and we established Zemfor Service Solutions.
Yeah. So Zemfor, you're number one.
Of course,
yes,
women are number one.
Yes, because you're the president of the company.
Yes.
So she bosses her brothers around, and this is a company. This is sort of an industry that is dealing with residential agriculture. It's like overhead like I'm a girl. Sorry,
yes.
Door opening systems.
I can help you out with explaining.
I know. And see, it's not a common place to see a female who's running a successful business like this. So tell me, I'm sure you've had your fair share of challenges and of course some successes, because obviously you've been around for a few years. So, you know, tell us what you've learned.
Sure, I can certainly do that. Good question, Shauna. Very good question. Well, first
I get there eventually. It's the Ukrainian in me. It's like it's coming.
Yeah.
Could be the wine in me too, but
yes, it could be. Yeah, just get to the point. Yeah. Just to give you a little bit about Zemfor Service Solutions and what we are about. We are an overhead door company, a full-service overhead door company that provides commercial, residential, industrial, mining, agricultural. So we serve diverse markets: indoors, gates, electric devices, very diverse
very
market.
unique, like really, that not a plain garage door.
That's
like,
right.
You want something trendy and nice. You have
no
some
plain
nice
Jane
ones.
here.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
That's right. So we service all these markets, and we offer, you know, specialized services in that we don't just go in and put your door in. We actually will solution if you've got modifications or any alterations that need to be done. So we've got some added service there. I guess, you know, in starting the business, and in starting any business for that matter, it's like you're going to make a movie, and you really need the right cast. And I believed that I had the right cast. My 3 brothers and I know I'm going to age us, but we have over 90 years of combined experience within our 4 little siblings. So we really have the expertise and the knowledge technically, and myself with the supplier network that I established and the relationships that, you know, was forged. It made sense for us to basically have this business and to make it grow and, you know, what it is today. So some of the successes I guess I can share with you is having those relationships with the mining companies, with the large contractors, and really building on that and capitalizing on that at the level of communications that is really important, because that I saw that was kind of slipping away. I think the success as well, and what I enjoy, is that I'm able to actually determine our schedule and actually the direction of ZEM4 in general. Some of the challenges, definitely as a woman, I'm in quite a male-dominated industry. It's changing a little bit, but for the most part, I am kind of a woman in a man's world. So one of the challenges was really in the technical aspects, where you would get a contractor or somebody calling and saying, "Well, let me talk to the man." Like, "Well, I can help you," and then I start telling them about what I know. They're like, "Oh, gee, you know that stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of. Been in it for a while. I kind of know what to ask." But at the same time, I also firmly believe that when you don't know something, especially on a technical aspect or in anything, that I think people respect you more if you just say, "Well, I'm not sure, I'll follow up, I'll get back to you," than making them believe that you know. So you can fool some people some of the time, but not all the time. Yeah, basically, yeah, there's, in every business now, especially with construction and doing major projects and mega projects, whether it's for a mine site, which involves a lot of safety and protocol to put into place, and major projects in commercial buildings. I've managed from 1 door to 250 doors at any given time. So there is challenges in working with architects and engineers and the details of contracts, because sometimes you are kind of pushed into a corner, and I've had to be a big girl and really stand up in a lot of situations. So I hold my ground. I'm kind of mighty that way.
Just little but mighty.
Yes.
You mentioned that the industry has changed a little bit. There's a few more females that are entering into the industry, and then you talked about the technology a little bit. Where do you see it heading? Like right now, I mean, obviously we're going through some challenging economic times, but what are you doing as a company to kind of push the envelope?
Good question. Again, good question. The industry certainly is changing. What is happening, like many other industries, is there's a lot of mergers and acquisitions and multinationals and people conglomerating, which they're looking at taking the market on both the indirect and the direct channel to that end consumer, which does leave out the little man, the little women, so to speak, in some markets. However, I find, yes, there is challenges in differentiating yourself in a market, and particularly in this climate, of economics, it's all about price and bottom line. However, I feel if you can provide added value services, which we do, kind of creating that customer experience, that kind of gives you the competitive edge as well. I also, I should mention my brothers' names, because I feel like I'm calling them brothers, and it's Terry, Alan, and Jody, just so that we know. So keeping them with them in mind, I guess, we really do have the expertise in the field, and that I have that confidence when I make a sale that the execution is going to be there. They can fabricate, they can weld, they can, design, they can make anything happen. So for me, in the sales end of things, it makes my job much easier when I know I'm not going to get a phone call and say, "Well, I don't know how to do this," or, which I've had in the past with past companies. But it's knowing that you can execute and you have the credibility and you're treating that project like your own. I think sometimes businesses get lost, and somebody that just has a job doesn't put their heart into it. And I believe in creating a customer experience that is ultimately, kind of plays on their emotion, because I think if you, as a consumer, if you have an emotion, you will make that purchase based on that emotion or that feeling. And where your heart goes, your head will follow. So those are some of the things that we do. I think we go kind of the extra mile and just make sure that customer is truly satisfied.
I know you do, I've read your bio and your website, and you do a lot of volunteering, community work, sitting on boards. And don't let this little tiny mighty girl in this pretty dress fool you. She's a highly competitive soccer player. Do you have some soccer player girlfriends here? Yeah. They're lucky. They're saying, that's good you're on her team, right? So just tell us a little bit about your extracurricular.
Sure.
And you've talked all this business stuff, so tell us about the other side of you.
I really believe in having a healthy work-life balance, and staying active and playing sports has always been really important to me. Getting up off the couch and going to play soccer at 10:30 sometimes not so great, but it's about the camaraderie and the teammanship and the spirits that we enjoy as a team. Occasionally. So yeah, I actually had the honor of being part of one of the Masters team here from Saskatoon that competed in the Master Games in Torino in 2013. So
wow.
It was a great road trip to travel to Italy, and
Nice.
lots of
vino.
Lots of vino, and just a great time. Actually, it was a trip of a lifetime. So those. Traveling is certainly part of my work-life balance as well, and my partner Darcy and I, we really enjoy, going to different places, and having a healthy balance in life, I think, is really important, and sharing it with wonderful women.
Yeah, that's what we're all about, right?
Yes.
All right. All right, I got my last question. It's always the same question I ask everybody that's up here. Name a dynamic person who, it could be professionally, personally, that has inspired you.
Okay. There's actually many people that inspire me, whether it's through a book I read or people in my life, my soccer team, my friends. But there is one particular lady that I truly was a catalyst for probably who I am today. It's a lady by the name of Laurie McSimmons, and she's actually from my hometown. And she was in an unfortunate farming accident when she was 18. And I actually ended up being her roommate in my early 20s. And living with her, I saw her struggle physically. There was no mental struggle with her because she was such a strong, dedicated, persevering type person. But I saw her just in her physical struggles, and through her pain management over the years, she develops this healthcare product, which was called the Sand Soother. So we took the Sand Soother on the road across Canada and into the US, and we marketed this healthcare product. And through doing those trade shows, it's really where I got my passion, I think, for business. And when you're at a trade show and you see the excitement of people, talking about their products, and they're really, wanting to share it with you, it really instilled something in me. And I think that's where my business sense came in, and my entrepreneurial spirit kind of thrived. And she's just the most beautiful, wonderful lady. And we actually went to a trade show in Atlanta, and it was a world healthcare show. And it was just probably one of the, greater experiences for me. But with her, she was just an inspiration, because she was just so deep and inspiring and motivating, and there wasn't anything like, just don't ever say that she can't do something, because she would prove you wrong. So I was a little bit shy, introverted person then, so it helped me come out a little bit more and to grow. And what's funny is next week I'm actually going to Atlanta to the World Congress Center to attend the International Door Expo. So I'm going to be looking at some products and hopefully bringing back some new ideas. So it's kind of like my life has gone a little full circle And it's
The other way
it's
around.
funny.
Yeah. Do you just keep in touch?
Yes, we do keep in touch.
Yeah.
She actually is married, and she had two children, natural childbirth as well. Went through some complications after her second daughter was born, and she actually, interesting that you would ask that, because what's so unique about her is that she actually had a outer body experience. She flatlined after having the baby. She was cycling on her bike, and she had lost a lot of blood, and she ended up in the hospital, and her organs were shutting down, and she flatlines. And she has this experience of seeing two people in her past that have passed away call her over. I didn't really intend to go here with that story, but
Hey,
I'm sorry.
this is the good stuff. We're getting into the good stuff now.
So she
Get another
actually-
glass of wine.
She has, it's a beautiful, the sun's shining. She's across this water, and her I think it was her grandfather and her cousin that had died of breast cancer at a young age were calling her across, and then she heard her sister nudge at her and yell at her and tell her to come back, and she did. And so I've often told her that she should write a book, because you don't hear of those stories very often where people have had that experience. Yeah. But yeah, she was really the catalyst for me, and it really, I think, inspired me to just persevere and to be determined and not give up and to grow.
I'm really interested about this product. What was it called? SandSoothe?
Yeah.
And is it like, did she make millions or?
What happened was the Sand Soother was a great product. This would be back in the mid-90s, so early 90s, about to 95. So it was basically fabric. So with all of her pain management, she needed something to just comfort herself. So, I mean, you could imagine constantly sitting in a wheelchair, and I mean, things have gotten a little bit better now with the devices and such, but she was always in a lot of pain. So I don't know how it came about, but she just said to her mom, let's throw some sand in some fabric and let's heat it up. So they actually, what it was columns of fabric sewn and sand, just basic sand from her farmyard. Like this, it was all made out in her farm and vineyard. And when you wet it and you threw it in the microwave and heat it, it provided those hot properties and like a hot pack. Now you would have the magic bag and all the silica sand that came out. So she was kind of in the early stages of the healthcare products, and she either needed to have some big healthcare company take it on and distribute it, but it was just the weight factor in shipping. With the sand, it was logistics and the weight factors, so it wasn't cost effective. But she was on to something. Yeah, it was on the farm, and so we traveled around and marketed this product. So it was quite a great experience.
Yeah. All right, this is where I get to the fun round. This is the fun stuff. For some of you that are new, you're gonna love this. So this is where we get to find out a little bit more about Jackie and just her fun side. This is my indulgence. I get to have fun with this. So this is a 7 revelations with Jackie. Bucket list item you wish to accomplish.
Well, I certainly want to travel as much as possible. I'd have to say being able to be fluent in a second language. It's a tough one.
You don't know Ukrainian?
Some of the bad stuff.
Like Dvorak?
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay,
I know
Dvorak. We know that.
Cheers,
one.
girlfriend.
All right, we got that. At least we got that. All right. Oh, we got a drink out of that.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know if you're Ukrainian. All right. Or not. Number 2, you collect.
I really am not a collector. I'm kind of a less is more. I'm not a cluttery person. But I do, this is me sharing myself. I do have a thing for nice gift bags. And when my special man Darcy buys me a beautiful Coach bag or something, I like keeping the bags, like the actual bags, like the gift bags.
I know, I have all the Tiffany's
boutiques.
bags.
I know. I like the bags. That's me.
You're not. It's all right. I have a few of those too. Well, we talked like you'd like to travel. So, what's your favorite getaway?
You know, anywhere, whether it's short distance or long distance. I love the tropics. I love palm trees. But just being able to have some me time. It could be a book in a corner somewhere too. Yeah, just anywhere.
Ukrainian food is very important to us, as well as drink, vodka. But what is your favorite food?
I really, again, coming from a large family, you had to eat fast or be, really quick at the table. So I like all foods. I'm not a spicy or hot food person, but I would actually have to say grapes that turn liquid.
Oh. Oh boy.
Like liquid
we
grapes.
Are sisters, for sure. Here we go again. Okay. You talked about reading a book in the corner. What have you just read or are reading?
Okay. I do a lot of business reading and self-help type reading, personal development reading. The last book I've read is called The Mark of a Leader, and by Doug Keeley. And great book. It's basically about ordinary people that do really extraordinary things, and I highly recommend it. There's everybody from Oprah, Angela Mayo, Benjamin Franklin, Terry Fox. It covers a vast array of leaders, and and I think
did Trump make it in there?
He didn't, but I know he did a second book, so I'm not sure.
Okay, good. Pet peeve.
Pet peeve. I'd have to say, just in consideration to elderly people, when you see an elderly person, whether it's on a bus or standing, it bothers me when people don't go out of their way to help them or assist them. It's kind of that would be it.
All right, last one. You can't say soccer. What's a hidden talent? Like soccer, like you can't spin a soccer ball on your toe. Like what? I imagine you can. So I'm just like, what's another hidden
Basketball
talent?
on my finger, soccer toe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good question, Shauna.
Touch your tongue to your nose or like.
Actually, I think they're all hidden.
Yeah. Oh, she's teasing us. Oh, that's a good one. That's the best answer of the night. Those are the 7 revelations. With that being said, do you have any last words of wisdom to these ladies?
Last words of wisdom. I think finding your passion is really important, and following your heart. And in business, I think, logic gives us a reason to do something, but it's our heart and our passion that keeps you going, keeps you doing something every day until it's basically impossible to succeed, but keep striving at that. And I think most importantly is just continuous learning, growing, and improving, and that can apply to everything in our lives. So learn, grow, and what did I say?
You know what? This has been awesome. Isn't this a great ending of the day for the weekend? Thank you very much, Jackie.
Thank you, Shauna.